First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Ahead on WUFT News First at 5, we'll tell you how you can stay cool in this heat.
Plus, early this morning, residents thought they heard more fireworks, but it turned out to be something more harmful. That's our top story tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Grace King.
And I'm Nicola Perdomo. Zoe Haugen joins us now with the latest developments on a string of shootings in Gainesville.
3 different shootings all within 2 hours. It happened this morning in Gainesville while most of us were asleep. Two people are shot and seriously injured after a string of shootings. The 911 calls all came in between 2 and 4 a.m. Gainesville police will not say if the incidents are related, but say there are similarities from each scene.
Information that we're getting from witnesses describes a similar car at each time, and we don't have that information available as to what kind of car it is. We don't want to throw out just a car because everyone would see that kind of car, and we'd be getting thousands of calls.
First report was of a drive-by shooting just blocks from the University of Florida campus. The victim was in a parked car and no one was hit. I'm here in the area where the first shooting possibly happened around 2 a.m. and the people I've talked to in the area mostly say that they didn't hear anything but fireworks last night. The second drive-by shooting report came in around 3:30 a.m. just northeast of downtown. A female in her late 20s was shot in the neck but expected to survive. One resident says a Circle K employee told him she witnessed it.
One of them says, I've got a gun in the car, I'll be right back. Walked outside to the car. The young lady who she was in an altercation with got in her car and left. And from what I understand, the young lady who had threatened with the gun got in her car, followed them down, and while they were driving down the street, shot the other young lady in the neck.
About 15 minutes later, another drive-by shooting. This one was just southwest of downtown. A few people were standing outside of a parked vehicle when one man was shot in the torso and leg. His injuries are considered serious.
I won't say that we have eyewitness accounts from each of the shooting scenes, but we do have information from witnesses leading up to some of the scenes, and we actually have eyewitnesses at one of the scenes.
GPD says they do not have any suspects or vehicle descriptions at this time. Anyone with information is encouraged to call Gainesville Police. Anonymous information can be relayed by calling Crime Stoppers at 352-372-STOP. Reporting live in the studio, Zoe Haugen, WUFT News.
Zoe, thank you. A man behind bars tonight in Lake City is accused of stealing tens of thousands of dollars in jewelry. Brandon Kyle is charged with grand theft and dealing in stolen property. The expensive jewelry was reported stolen from a local home last month. The victim spotted items at a pawn shop, and the police followed the trail through an intermediary back to Kyle. Police say the man he recruited to handle the pawn shop transactions could also be charged.
Another sweltering day in north central Florida raises health concerns for those without access to air conditioning. Many Floridians rely heavily on the AC this time of year. Others use fans to keep cool. There are also those people without shelter living in these weather conditions every day. This leads people to organizations such as Grace Marketplace. It offers free ice to anyone. You just have to bring your own cooler or container for refilling.
Well, they let you come in like twice a day to get ice. You know, like if you have a cooler, you can come in or whatever, bring a bucket, a bag or whatever, and you can get a bucket of ice or whatever, you know. That helps quite a bit.
To stay cool, many people use the resources at Grace Marketplace, which include financial counseling for utility bills in order to avoid a power disconnect. Not only are Florida summers known for those hot temperatures, but they're also known for bringing storms.
That's right, and UF forecaster Lee Southwick joins us now from the Weather Center to tell us about a potential for those storms tonight. Lee, where are these storms developing?
We actually have some strong storms on radar right now, and the potential for strong storms lingers through tonight. Let's take a look at these storms right now. First, heading into Alachua County. A small shower just south of Gainesville, but more of a downpour over Paynes Prairie, just north of Micanopy, and some lightning strikes associated with that. So some lightning just to the southeast of Gainesville. And we also have some downpours developing to the western side of Alachua County, just north of Newberry. And these cells are heading 10 miles per hour to the west. We also have some development in Marion County, moving out of Reddick now, but into Williston. and also some more activity to the west of Ocala. But coming up, I'll track these storms for you more. We have some more near Stark, and I'll give you the latest updates on that. Back to you.
Thank you, Lee. In New York City, the police department is investigating the ambush killing of an officer. She was shot overnight while sitting in her police car. NBC's Chris Pallone reports.
The NYPD commissioner called it an assassination. 12-year veteran officer Mia Sotis Familia shot and killed as she sat in a police command vehicle just after midnight in the Bronx.
She was on duty, serving this city, protecting people, doing what she believed in and doing the job she loved.
Officer Familia's partner in the seat next to her was unharmed. Police say this man, Alexander Bonds, walked up to the NYPD van and fired the fatal shot through the window.
An anti-crime team encountered a male subject running on Morris Avenue. As they confronted him, he drew a revolver. The officers fired at him, striking and killing him.
As fellow officers from the 46th precinct tried to comfort each other, friends fondly remembered the 48-year-old mother of three.
She's always talked to us. She always said good morning. She's always asking how you doing today. She was very good friendly.
Bonds served 8 years in prison for robbery and was paroled in 2013. Investigators are reportedly looking into an anti-police posting on his social media accounts. The attack reminded many of a similar incident in 2014 when a gunman shot and killed 2 NYPD officers as they sat in their squad car in Brooklyn. Now they once again grieve the death of a colleague and friend. Chris Pallone, NBC News, New York.
And earlier today, the Alachua County Sheriff's Office tweeted their condolences, saying, quote, "From Alachua County to New York City, our thoughts and prayers go out to NYPD Officer Familia and her family."
The Fish and Wildlife Commission has officers who patrol all major bodies of water across Florida.
Over the holiday weekend, they were out in force. WUFT's Henry Coburn went with them and joins us now from the newsroom with more on their weekend operation.
They called it Operation Dry Water, and it kept FWC very busy all weekend long. I went out on the water with an officer who said the goal is safety.
Out here on Alachua County's Lake Santa Fe, boaters rely on Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission officers for a wide variety of reasons.
I ran out of gas for one.
And this 4th of July weekend, FWC officer Brad Stanley was on duty as part of Operation Dry Water, a campaign aimed at making sure the waters were safe for all boaters.
We're on the water, checking boats, important for life jackets, all your safety equipment. And we're also looking for impaired boat operators that are on the water this weekend.
Officer Stanley joined the FWC 15 years ago to pursue a career working in the place that he loves the most, the great outdoors.
Grew up in a small town in the Panhandle and enjoyed fishing and hunting and being on the water, and just thought that would be cool to get to do it every day and get a paycheck for it.
For Operation Dry Water, Officer Stanley patrolled the water for unsafe boaters, making sure everyone had safety equipment on board.
Safety on the water is very important. That's why it's recommended that you strap on a life jacket. So if you fall in the water, you'll float.
But FWC officers do more than just check for life jackets. They enforce the law and keep boaters safe so that holidays on the water are carefree.
Just enjoying the water. It's peaceful and safe, and just enjoying the holiday weekend, the time off.
To Officer Stanley, safety is paramount, as is a positive rapport with the community.
We're seen on a regular basis, so we feel like it's not as bad, as other places around the state.
And although Operation Dry Water is over, Officer Stanley will still be out on the water, making sure every boater is a safe one.
Now, once again, officers always encourage safety awareness, especially around summer holidays when the waters can get more crowded. Reporting live from the newsroom, Henry Coburn, WUFT News.
Thank you, Henry. The Gainesville and the University of Florida will be conducting a year-long survey to document historic homes thanks to a new grant. The grant is for more than $40,000 and comes from the Florida Department of State's Division of Historical Resources. The Gainesville Department of Doing plans to survey and record data about local buildings that have a historical significance.
A lot of the city residential areas were built post-World War II, so a lot of those neighborhoods have some really great historic resources Some really interesting mid-century modern buildings, and so the city and the university will be going out and surveying those and documenting that history of Gainesville.
Buildings will be classified by type, style, date of construction, and any other known information. Crews will use this information to update current historic preservation guidelines. The project is expected to begin this fall.
Up next on First at 5, President Trump is out of the country. We'll tell you who he plans on meeting.
Plus, we'll tell you what clothing item parents need to look out for.
Downpours and thunderstorms are developing across north central Florida. You can see one of those to the left of my live cam. Other than that, temperatures are very warm. More on the heat and the rain coming up.